Howdy, welcome back. It's Tuesday afternoon. I'm back from a visit to the coast here in Texas. I know I got a lot of messages saying, all the Texas beaches were closed down. Yes, a lot of Texas beaches were closed down where we were. They did a modified where it was no vehicular motorized vehicle traffic. And they closed down all the access points. So that I think limited a lot of transient traffic onto the beach. But we were able to go out on the beach. We did not go out on the beach on July 4th. I would not have gone to the beach on July 4th anyways. And I don't like going to the beaches on Saturday because they're just too crazy and too crowded. So we did hit some beach time on Friday. I think the nearest person was like 30 feet away. We were really in a great spot. And then on Monday, there was nobody on the beach. So it was fabulous. So we did get a little beach time, got a little fishing and really just got a little bit of a change of pace. When we came home last night, I realized I wasn't ready to be back in my house yet. I've spent so much time in the house. So that's kind of where I have been. I hope you had a great 4th. If you got a chance to check out the Facebook Live that I did or the video that I did about freedom and how it pertains to small business. Today, we're going to talk about an article that we shared from the McKinsey group. And really the article, I have it pulled up over here off the side. I want to make sure I say the title properly. But it's basically talking about COVID-19's effect on jobs in small businesses in the United States. And the stats are not good. Now, and what I will say is right now we have a lot of indicators, right? We have a lot of people taking educated guesses about a situation we have not seen. Like us in our lifetime have not seen this happen before. So I do want to talk about this. I think it's valid as business owners that we are talking about these possibilities, if you were, and that we're thinking and we're taking action to avoid them. So, their subheadline is 30 million small business jobs are vulnerable, a higher share than large private sectors. I think they attribute the potential loss in jobs at 54% in the small business community, 40% in larger corporations. And then the article doesn't go into great depth, but even this morning I saw another article talking about the same thing, about not only are these small business jobs going to be lost, but that they may never come back. And there's a couple of things at play here. So they're both true. Whether they're accurate, only time will tell, right? So they're both true in that small businesses, guys, I don't know if you realize, but and this is why I am such a champion of even the smallest business, is because as a community, we represent 50% of the economy. And in so many cases, in the past, when we've had recessions or we've had 2008, 2009, before that, the dot-com bust in 2000, and even just go back and back, right? Small business has really been the stabilizing force, the ability for the economy as a whole to weather the storm. And a lot of times in the past too, our past economic hardships have been very industry focused. So the dot-com bust, the real estate bust, the energy crisis, the financial mortgage crisis, okay? Very, while widespread, had an impact across the population. It's a very pinpoint of an industry. Right now, the biggest thing is that our whole supply chain has been upended upon itself. So much of our economy has been based in consumables and experience, and really more than the basic necessities of life, okay? All the extras. And, especially in America, right? Shopping's a pastime. And now people have been hindered from doing that. And it really is a case to where it's just a trickle down effect, right? The longer that whole loop, that whole supply chain, even, supplies. So when were we, I'm like, when was this? What year are we in? So in early March, I'm just ending a term as the president for the NAWBO DFW chapter. So NAWBO is the National Association of Women Business Owners. If you've never heard of the group, you should check it out. If you're a women business owner, you should join. I'm just going to tell you that. You can message me and I'll tell you why later, but this group has really been having our backs, and not just even really the work that they've been doing nationally isn't just to benefit women business owners. It really benefits all small business owners. And it's just good to know we have somebody like that fighting out for the little guy, so to speak. But I digress. So in March, we typically hold a Women's Leadership Day, and we invited 2 people to come speak to us. One was our current chair, national chair, Jeanette Armbrust, and then the second was one of the original founders of NAWBO, Dottie Gandy. And we were just talking about the journey. And this was March 3rd, March 4th, before even closures had happened. And Jeanette shared with us the impact that she had just the day before, how much business COVID had cost her the day before. And it was staggering. Right. And she talked about the process. She's in part of the events industry. So we know events industries have been hit really hard. Restaurant industries, obviously, we've got some really big industries that have just been hit like with the nuclear bomb. And she was just sharing. She's like, I had this happen in 2008 and 9. I know I can make it through it because I've had that resiliency, but it still is a big impact. And honestly, we don't know when it's going to come back. I have a conference I'm signed up to go to in October, and I don't know. I don't know if it's going to make, right? So there's a lot of just that whole kind of supply chain. China got delayed. We've had runs on inventory. The story of paper products is just a very interesting business case study. Something that's so reliable as toilet paper, like they can predict within like ink of the process of knowing how much to produce. We ran through, right, so many months of stock, which is why it has come back, and they've made steps like reducing SKUs, reducing package size, all of these things in order to produce stock and keep things stocked. But a lot of people have seen the same thing. Have you tried to buy a desk? I tried to buy a desk in May. I still don't have it. It's July. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, though. Cross your fingers. But, all of the inventory that we had has been depleted. And it's not like we had a ton of inventory. Most people have been running very lean, right? Just carrying a little more-ish than necessary. So that whole supply chain has just kind of sucked it out, right? And then we've got other things that have impacted supply chain. Then you'll have, and I saw this in 2008 and 2009, when I ran my business at that time was not coaching. It is now coaching. But at that time, it was interior design and construction. I did GC works, remodels, those types of things. That economic hardship did not hit in Houston like it really impacted places like New York, high financial centers, right? Because Houston's a different kind of economy based on the different kind of industries. But what you had was a conscientious pulling back of spending. And that conscientious pulling back of spending in that market lasted for about 2 years before people really got antsy and wanted to do something with their money again. So we're having all of these factors, things that we don't know, what we don't know. We don't, when they started, I think everybody thought it'd be over by June. Obviously not. I'm thinking, we're going to be here for a while. So we have so much uncertainty. We have so much impact of ways that this is impacting us in ways we never could have imagined, and says that, it's not necessarily a place we've been before. So that entire supply chain kind of disruption is huge, and it is hitting every industry. Every business that I'm talking to has had some impact in it. Now, interestingly, this is also the time that new ways, when we can't get going one way, we're innovative enough, ingenious enough to come up with other ways to do it. And that's what I hope you're doing in your business right now is taking the time to do that. A couple of other reasons why we're in this situation where so many jobs are really at risk. And McKinsey said this, and I know I've said it in a couple of Facebook Lives. McKinsey basically said that most businesses, their median is the term they use, median is a 27-day buffer, cash buffer. I thought that was really generous. HBR titles it 21 days. I do a service called the business audit. It's basically I'll go back and review about 3 years worth of financials and KPI data and kind of tell you what's going on in your business and where your opportunities are. And one of the things I look at is cash, because cash is king, right? Cash is the fuel that really keeps us alive. Those that have cash right now can take the time to reinvent themselves. Those that are running out of the cash at a certain point in time, they're going to run out of runway. They're going to have to find another way of doing funding. So I will say, if you have not applied for the EIDL, I don't care what kind of business you're in, apply, go to the SBDC. They will help you do this for free. My conversations with the SBA, I have a few contacts there, and they were saying the number one reason that people get turned down for an SBA loan is their application isn't complete and or correct. So get some help if somebody's willing to help you do that for free. Get the money. There's so many avenues out there that are making that so much more possible and probable. If it's not the SBA, then look into a lot of the corporate funding, corporate grants that are coming on board. It seems like every week there's another corporation out there willing to invest in small businesses. And this is why, right? What we're talking about today. So the runway or rainy day fund is really quite crucial. So many business owners have been trained to break even, because if you break even, right, in your business, then you don't pay taxes. Well, taxes are a privilege of profit. You have enough profit, you can build cash. You have enough cash, you have a rainy day fund, right? You've got to choose. You either don't pay taxes on your profit and you don't, you do that break even kind of mentality of trying to spend it all at the end of the year so you don't have rollover cash reserves. And this is the risk, right, that we're doing. Or you take that hit. I will tell you, the first year that I ran over, that we had a chance to build up some hefty reserves, ran over, we took the tax hit, but I planned for it, right? When you've got that profit going, you can plan for things. So I know I saw a question come across my desk today about, should I be trying to take tax write-offs now? And it's like, you know what? I cannot tell you that, because you've got to know your cash. We're managing cash right now, guys. We're not, you're not managing that part of things. Unless you've got a bukus of cash and your CPA is all for it, go for it. But I mean, really, cash reserves is so crucial. So think about what needs to change in your business to start building those cash rainy day funds. There's a couple tools that you can use. I use PocketSmith. I use PocketSmith personally for my personal and my business. That's how much I love it. And I put clients onto it every day. And I will tell you, we had one client where it was hairy in March. Really hairy in March, and that's been the number one tool that's enabled us to manage cash on a daily basis moving forward. And they're doing so awesome right now. They're 2 months ahead. 2 months ahead, built back up a 2-month cash reserve, so it can be done. I think the last part that we'll talk about is really diversification. So I think about 2 of my clients where it was already part of our strategic plan this year to diversify services, meaning that we wanted to do some expansion, but we also wanted to do some protection. Like, we were too heavy in one area and we wanted to diversify to add a little bit of balance. Same thing that you would do with stocks and retirements, right? Diversification. So we already had these plans. I'll admit they weren't first or second quarter plans. They were probably third or fourth quarter plans. But because we already had that outlined, we knew what we were going to move into. We actually were able to shift those things up. And that is proving to be very impactful right now in their businesses, because we were already looking at diversifying into other industries that have like flip cycles. So if you're in construction has an industry. What's the flip cycle? When construction goes down, what goes up, right? That's what we're looking for as an example. So really, in order for us to be able to protect the jobs that we have, in order for you to be able to hire back your team, you're going to have to get scrappy. You're just going to have to get out the boots and the cast iron underwear and get going in order to make some things happen. Now, the benefit of it all is, man oh money, there's no time like the present. There is no time like the present to get change. There's no time like the present to try something new. You have so much more forgiveness from everyone, from clients, from employees, from spouses, from yourself, to get out there and find something new to do. 30 million jobs, that's what we're trying to protect here, guys. It's our children's jobs. It's our neighbors' jobs. It is part of that whole community that we love and that we hate sometimes out there. But it is a duty that you can do. I've always looked at my work as being, if I can help one business create one job and every business created a job, that would be 26 million jobs, right? So let's really get scrappy into these things. Don't get too scared by these statistics. A lot of right now, they're looking in food service, customer service, sales, construction. I've seen a lot of people moving sales positions around, but I've also heard a lot of people looking for new salespeople. So one door closes, one door opens, but we can do a lot in between that area to help protect the businesses and the jobs that these businesses represent. So that's it for today. What are your thoughts? What are you seeing as jobs that may never come back? What are new jobs that can be created in new and interesting ways that give us new ideas and new opportunities? This is just the time, guys. We're in a revolution. I talked about the Industrial Revolution is shaking up our economy and how work was done and where work was done and where the jobs were. We're at another point just like that. I can't see any way. We were headed here anyways. It's been going on for a few years, let's just say that. But this has been a really big inflection point to push us over the edge. So let's do this together. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure, if you want to hear our live, on Thursday, we're going to go live and we're going to talk about, we did this survey with business owners, and I asked, what's that unexpected benefit that you've seen in your business? And the answer really surprised me. So we're going to be talking about that on Thursday. So if you want to make sure that you know when we're going live, if you look at the post at the bottom, there is just a little messenger link there. Click that, and then click get started. And that will just let you know when we go live. And I usually just send it out right before our Thursday live. So that we're not doing crazy, but that's all that does. You won't get any other messages from me. I don't know. Let's get scrappy together. I'm excited about where we are and the opportunity. I know there's a lot of stress and obstacles in our way, but we can take it. We can do this thing. Let's do it together. So that's it for today, guys. I'm Leslie Hassler with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. I hope that you're doing well, and I'll talk with you soon.